Thank you so much. It is now a great privilege to turn to Her Excellency Anaclaudia Rossbach, Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Director of the UN Habitat. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excellencies, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Sabahodonskir, good morning. It's a great honor to join you in Baku for the 13th Global Baku Forum. Allow me at the outset to thank the Nizami Ganjavi International Center and the government of Azerbaijan for their kind invitation and warm hospitality. Over the years, the Global Baku Forum has become a recognized space where leaders and thinkers can speak frankly about the state of the world and the future of multilateralism. In today's climate, that role has never been more important. We meet at a time of intense geopolitical tension and overlapping crises, from conflicts to climate shocks, economic uncertainty, and rising mistrust. The United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, has warned that we are entering an era of deepening chaos and that peace and multilateral cooperation cannot be taken for granted. From the perspective of UN Habitat, this era of uncertainty is also an urban and housing crisis. Almost 60% of humanity already lives in cities, and this share will continue to rise. Yet, hundreds of millions of people lack a secure, adequate home. Over 1 billion live in informal settlements and in slums. In many parts of the world, the combination of high housing costs, limited serviced land, and climate-related disasters is putting secure, adequate homes out of reach for too many families. That is why UN Habitat, that was conceptualized 50 years ago to deal with the international shelter crisis, today puts at its new strategic plan for 2026-2029 adequate housing, land, and basic services for all at the center. Housing is not just a roof. It is where peace, dignity, and social cohesion are built or broken. To strengthen our support to this region, where there are challenges, but also a great amount of experiences to be shared, UN Habitat has also established its new regional office for Eastern Europe and Central Asia in Istanbul, expanding our capacity to work more closely with governments, cities, and partners across the region. The office will help advance sustainable urban development, housing solutions, and resilient communities, while connecting regional priorities to global urban agendas. Excellencies, in this context, this Global Baku Forum is taking place under a particularly international spotlight. Azerbaijan, as it was said, has recently hosted COP29, bringing the world together in this city to advance climate ambition and climate finance. Now, as mentioned by the President, in just a few weeks, Baku will host the 13th World Urban Forum, WUF 13. This is our main global platform on sustainable urban development. It's worth mentioning that Baku joins other cities that also hosted COP and the World Urban Forum. So it's helping to define how we respond to climate change and how we shape our urban future. I also warmly commend the government's decision to declare 2026 as the year of urban planning and architecture in Azerbaijan. This is a powerful signal that at a time when some question globalization, Azerbaijan is investing in the quality of its cities and communities, and in the professionals who design and manage them. This is particularly important this year, as we are in New York reviewing the new urban agenda at its midterm. Dear friends, the theme of this forum, Bridging Divides in a World of Transition, invites us to look beyond today's crisis and ask, how can cities and housing become a unifying force, rather than a reflection of our difference. Let me offer 3 brief messages from UN Habitat. First, housing, basic services must be recognized as core peace and security issues. Investing in affordable climate-resilient housing and services is investing in stability and reconciliation. Second, well-planned and efficient cities are essential for climate action and shared prosperity. Compact, connected, green cities reduce emissions, protect people from floods and heat waves, and create jobs. The legacy of COP29 and prospects of WUF 13 and the World Environment Day in 2026 can include stronger support for cities and local governments, especially here in the wider region. Third, cities can help rebuild trust across political and regional divides. Baku's role as a bridge between East and West, North and South, and as a center for intercultural dialogue shows how a city can host difficult conversations and connect societies that do not always agree. Municipal cooperation, city-to-city partnerships, and people-to-people exchanges are quiet but powerful tools of diplomacy. Excellencies, as Executive Director of UN Habitat, my hope is that the spirit of statements and conversations in this forum will shape our collective action in and beyond Baku. They can feed into WUF 13 and in COP follow-up processes, but most important, into concrete investments in cities, housing, neighborhoods around the globe. I am confident that the Global Baku Forum will contribute to the rebuilding of communities and trust, protecting vulnerable families and making our cities more just and sustainable. And in doing so, will truly help to bridge divides in a world of transition. UN Habitat stands ready to work with all of you to make that vision real. Thank you, Chair.